So this is the final video for the Newgate clock. You're in your assembly like this. Just go to your configuration manager and make sure you have all these things here. You have default, cutaway and exploded. They're all very, very important for the next part of the video. Also, if there's any editing left to be done, like I've noticed here, I haven't got this little piece removed here, and I did show in the video how to do that. Now is the time to get all them things done. And once you have that all done and the video is fully complete, the next stage then is to do the drawings. So you have your assembly open, that's essential. You then go to this, you go to File, you go to New, you go to Drawing, and you click OK. Now, if you make a mistake at this exact moment, it will be impossible to fix it. You'll have to redo the whole video again. Right now, you need to make sure you pick A3 ISO. If A3 ISO is not there, you might need to browse first. You're looking for A3 ISO, okay? Very important. Just ask your teacher if you're having trouble finding it. And it has to be landscape, not portrait. Now, usually on every single piece of SolidWorks, it's automatically here at the start because it's a very common page. So I click A3 ISO, I click OK. Now, I'm going to push the red X here for the moment. I'm going to click the little arrow beside sheet 1. I'm going to click the little arrow beside sheet format 1. I'm going to right click border 1 and I'm going to click delete border and I'm going to click yes. That removes most of the border. Anywhere you like on the white page, and I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to edit sheet format, I'm going to highlight everything with my mouse and I'm going to push delete. Next, we're going to bring in the school crest. So your own school crest. I'm just going to go to the internet here and I've already just looked up school crests. So you pick your school crest. And I'm going to save that school crest then. I'm going to save image as. So I've right-clicked the image, save image as, and I'm going to call that school crest. Whatever suits your school. That's that done. And I'm going to go to the top here, I'm going to go to insert, going to go to picture, and I'm going to look up school crest from the desktop where I saved it last time. There we go. Click open and the school crest will pop in, whichever one you saved. Drag it down, that's nice and small, and just pop it up here in the top right hand corner of your page. When you have that done, just click the green tick. And when you have that done, click this button here. Now you have a blank A3 page to start doing your drawings on. I'm going to go to model view. I'm going to click assembly of Newgate clock. That's what should be there. Make sure it says default. Scroll down here, make sure this option is ticked. Scroll down a bit further. We're going to click this option here, hidden lines visible. Scroll down a bit further again. And we're going to click use custom scale and change to 1:1. Now 1:1 might be a bit too big, but I won't know until I try and fit in the page. So I'm just going to drop that here. And because we're in an American system, you have to follow this procedure now. So just drop that roughly there. Click. Push your mouse up. Drop that anywhere like there. Click, come back, go left, drop that anywhere you like there, click. When you have that done, click the green tick here on the left hand side. Then, just catch the outside of it, drag that to go underneath, so it will fit, that's good, and then drag that over here to the right hand side. You don't want to have them too far apart, you can keep them nice and close. We don't, because we need as much space as we can get in the page for information. Now, okay. Next thing, so I'm only going to do a few of the next part, which is putting dimensions onto this, but really it's up to you to put as many dimensions as you possibly can onto these three views. So I go to annotation, I go to smart dimension, and if I click the circle on the outside, I could put on that dimension. Equally, if I was maybe zooming on this line here in the bell, and I click that line, I could put that dimension down. Or if I zoomed in here in the hammer, I could put that dimension down. Things that you won't be able to dimension that easily will be the likes of splines. So I'll show you one there. So there's I'm putting on that 10. Maybe this ball down here at the bottom of the foot. The length of that line. An essential measurement will be the overall height. So I'm going to try and pick up a point at the very top, which can be quite tricky. Okay, so I can't. So we'll go for the next bit down. I'm going to click that dot there maybe. Go down here and down as low as I can, maybe take that measurement out. Let that be one of the main heights. But if you try and click the spline now, which is the handle, it won't dimension it. It's impossible to dimension a spline. But you might be able to go from the whole width across of it and put in that measurement somewhere. So you can do stuff like that. Students always ask me how many dimensions should I put onto it, and the answer I always give is, don't worry, you won't put too much onto it. Just keep putting dimensions onto it until you feel that it's full of dimensions on the front elevation, the end elevation, and on the plan. Just keep putting dimensions onto it over and over and over. When you have that done, you then go to View Layout again, you go back into Model View, you go back into your assembly, so double click it, click the 3D option. This time you're going to click Full Color. And instead of using custom scale, well, we might leave it at 1:2. We'll see if 1:1 fits, and it does. So we'll put it down as 1:1. And we'll drop that there. I'm then going to go into my SolidWorks, going to go into that actual assembly. I'm going to spin this around myself, maybe even put it that it's kind of like this on its side, that we can see from the back. I go back into the drawing sheet then, and I'm going to go to Model View, and I'm going to click Newgate, and I'm going to click Current Model View down here, and we're going to click Full Color, and we can drop that somewhere down here to show the back of the clock. Now, the function of these two views is not to put dimensions onto them. You do not put dimensions onto 3Ds. These are for labels. So I go to Annotation, and I go to Note. I might put a note underneath this here, maybe saying axonometric. So I'll zoom in on that. Views of Newgate clock. Note I didn't say 3D view, I said axonometric. And what happens when you're finished, you have to push escape twice. So once you've typed it, push escape twice to come out of it. So you'll see that happening now in the next one. I'm going to go to Note. I'm going to take an arrow out from here, maybe from the back of the clock, and I'm going to say location of battery. But when you have that done, you'll notice that it's stuck to your mouse. You have to push escape again for it to stop. So click once, then escape. Go back to Note again. We might say this is the bell up here on top. So click escape. Then again, go to Note. We might say this is the hammer. Click escape. So that didn't push escape again, so I pushed again. You know, maybe call this handle, you know, stuff like that. Clock face, handle, minute time, all that kind of stuff. All that information can be put onto them views. When you have that done, then we're moving on to the second sheet. So you have to click this little button down here. It says Add Sheet. So we click that. And we have to repeat the process like we had to do at the start of the last one. Beside Sheet Format 2, I click the little arrow. I right-click Border 2, and I push Delete Border. And I click Yes. Then right-click anywhere like in the page. I go to Edit Sheet Format. I highlight everything on the page with my mouse, and I push Delete. That gives me the blank page. Then I go up here, and I go Insert, and I go to Picture, and again we bring in the crest for your school. Whatever your crest is for your school, bring that in, drop that anywhere you like. Bring it down to a sensible small size, fairly like the last one. Put that in the top right hand corner, click the green tick, click this button then. Now, then we go to View Layout, we go to Model View, we go to Assembly of Newgate, but this time we change Default to Exploded. And we click Show in Exploded State. And we make sure that the first option or second option here is picked. We go to 3D, we go to Full Color, we untick Use, and we use 1:1 scale, and we can drop that in wherever it comfortably fits in the page. Most of the time students put kind of towards the top right as much as they can. So you can move that again afterwards if it pops back down, keep it in the top right. Now, the primary objective of the exploded view now is to go to Annotation, to go to Note, and to basically use this to label all the parts of the clock that you didn't label in the last one. So you might say clock body. You could say maybe made from stainless steel. White powder coating. Click once, push escape to stop drawing that. And then to get that text to fit all together, just click it once or twice. So slowly double click it. And you can catch that box and you can drag it in that it all fits together on the page. And I would repeat that process for this. Like you might say maybe the hammer that hits the bell for the alarm clock. You might say in here, this is the back of the alarm clock, clock face with analog display, clock leg, all that kind of stuff. Pin for holding, bell, all around the outside of this. Another thing you can do, and don't do it for too many, but just maybe for one or two for small parts, is in view layout, go to detail view. Let's say for example that bolt there, we might draw a circle around that bolt with the detail view. And then if you go over here to the left hand side, we need to make that a bit bigger. So 2:1 is too small. I might go 5:1. And you can drop that anywhere you like outside the page for the moment. I don't know where that went, sorry. I'll do that again. Just going to click the undo button. That happens sometimes, so just going to click it again. And then I'm going to go to detail view. I'm going to draw a circle around that. Anywhere I want, I'm going to drop that out here. I'm not happy with the size of that, so I'm just going to go here to the left hand side and change from 2:1 to 5:1. And I can then move that in then onto my sheet. And we can drag this up closer to it, and we can double click it, the text, and change it from detail B to detail of bolt for holding bell. Again, escape, that'll do there. And you can do that for other things. Maybe you might do a detail view here of the ball at the bottom. So again, go to detail view. You might draw that around the bottom of that there. Take that out to one side. Slowly move the text around that it's in a more sensible place. Slowly double click it. Maybe change from detail C to detail of leg for Newgate clock. Again, make sure you move the text around that can be read. And we'll do that, and that will probably fill up that page fairly quickly when you have a lot of that done. And the final thing then to do is to go to model view, go to assembly of Newgate, change from default to cutaway, select 3D, select wire detail, and we want to use a scale, so use custom scale of 1:1 if it fits, which it does. Drop that down here, maybe to top. Click yes. And then again, you're going to go into annotation and you're going to go into note and you're going to say axonometric cutaway. Newgate. Showing internal detail. Again, make that text more manageable by double clicking it, catching the corners of it and drag it into one box for underneath. And you can go to notes and you can take out notes here. Maybe you might say, you know, there's one of the supports, there's one of the leg pins. Maybe you might talk about here the battery location, whatever. You can even talk about here the slot for the hammer, the slot here for the switches. All that stuff can be done. And you'll be able to bring in one more thing then. If you go to view layout and you go to model view, maybe you might be able to browse and bring in one part. Like for example, let me see if I can find something here. We might bring in the hour hand. You can choose. Now that's quite as large, it's coming in quite large. So I just want to scale that down. It's too big, so I might change it from that to maybe 5:1. We can just drop that here. And then because it was a small part, you can now go to annotation, smart dimension, and you can dimension that small part here now on this sheet. Exactly what height it is, what the angle is there between them two pins maybe, stuff like that. Okay. Just be conscious, keep this bottom left-hand corner empty for printing, and that'll make sense when we print it out. But really everything else, roughly where I have it, is what you can do. When you have that done, go File, Save As, and we're going to call this Assembly of Newgate Clock Drawings. We click Save. We click Save All. And then we're going to do a pack and go. So we're going to go File, Pack and Go. And we're going to pack and go and make sure everything is ticked. And we're going to browse for that Part A folder on your USB key or on your desktop, whichever you have. Click Save, click Yes to all, and then keep clicking Yes. Now that might not happen for everybody. If it does, just keep clicking Yes. And that's your drawing sheets done, ready for printing. Okay, thanks very much, folks. Hope that's okay.